You don't need to convince anyone, and you get to have a business with dream clients that actually want the transformation you're offering, not just the result that you're selling. You're listening to the From Imposter to Empowered podcast. I'm your host, Jill Perrick, a business and mindset coach who specializes in imposter syndrome. If you feel like you're not as smart, capable, or worthy as you actually are, and that someone is going to find you out, then you've come to the right place. I went from being a struggling government worker, working my coaching business on the side, but feeling unworthy and burnt out, to making multiple six figures helping women overcome imposter syndrome so they too can sign clients, make bank, and have the business or career of their dreams. I am nothing special. I have a stuttering disability, ADHD, and I struggle with anxiety and depression. So if I can learn how to feel good enough and overcome my inner imposter, then so can you. Let's dig in. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm so happy to have you here, and happy Thanksgiving this past weekend to my fellow Canadians. I actually love Thanksgiving and Christmas food. My Omi, who is my German grandmother, she is an amazing cook. She makes German dumplings called Klursa and sauerkraut, and she makes this amazing gravy too. And then my English grandma cooks Yorkshire pudding. I absolutely love it. And today's episode is a good one. But before we get into it, let me remind you that the waitlist for Unfiltered and Filthy Rich, my content course, is at the link in my show notes. In Unfiltered and Filthy Rich, you will learn how to make money from your content and learn how to be paid for being fully fucking you in your content. Stop overthinking everything you post, radiate who the fuck does she think she is energy when you show up online to sell, and convert those followers and lurkers into paying clients. Starting October 16th, the course will be heavily discounted for just 1 week, and if you join the waitlist, you will get the bonuses such as a personalized Instagram audit of your feed or Voxer coaching for a week with yours truly. So get on the waitlist at the link in my show notes to access those bonuses during the launch, which starts on Monday. Now let's get into today's episode. So today I'm going to talk to you about selling your offer without feeling like you're convincing your audience to buy. I really think that selling with convincing energy is what happens when you don't believe that you or your offer is valuable. And it's convincing because you feel like you need to constantly tell people why they need your offer when you show up to sell it. But when you have true belief in yourself and your offer, you don't need to convince anybody. It would be like showing up to Sephora and the salespeople are trying to convince you to purchase the makeup. Like, bitch, I'm already here. Obviously, I want to buy some makeup. And this is my point here. I want you to assume that your audience wants what you're offering. Assume that they want to be there. Assume that they're watching because they want your offer, even if they never actually buy it. This is so damn important. When I was launching the Fraud Squad, which I will be soon again, wink, wink, there was a client who joined who had been watching my client for so long, but just hadn't taken any action yet. She didn't even sign up for the waitlist until 2 days before I closed it, and I had it open for so long. And she didn't purchase on the first day either. But why it's important is that she said she had decided to join way back when I had first announced it. And if I would have, for some reason, stopped selling it or stopped believing that people wanted to join simply because I hadn't seen the results yet, then she never would have had the opportunity to join. And she's the best. So I just assume that people fucking want what I'm offering. I assume that if they are watching my stuff or if they're in my audience, they're interested in who I am and what I'm selling. And even if you don't see the evidence to back that up yet, you eventually will create that result if you delude yourself a little bit in the beginning of selling something. Because the truth is, people need a warm-up period for most things. They want to know what it is you're selling, why it's for them, how it's going to help them, etc. But not from convincing you need this kind of energy, from they want this, and you're just giving them the information that will support their desire to have it. One of my past clients would sabotage sales conversations because she wasn't comfortable with being forward when people would inquire. Like, they would literally ask her about her services and she'd still be questioning if they even wanted to work with her. So swallow your fear, take a big deep breath, and say the thing. Be direct. This is called risking the relationship, and I've talked about it on the pod before. And it's especially hard for people who struggle with imposter syndrome or are people pleasers. It's hard for them to risk the relationship, but don't get it twisted. You may be a lovely person. You may have an audience you love chatting with and being friendly with, but at the end of the day, bitch, you sell something. You're here because you want to be of service to others, and a lot of those services are going to be paid. You deserve to be paid for the work that you do. You can be nice, sure. However, trying to manipulate someone's opinion about you so they think you're nice and not selling to them even if they seem interested, this is not how you're going to make thousands of dollars, and this is not how you're even going to help them in the first place, right? Like, they are on your page because they have some inkling that you can help them with a problem that they have. So assume they want to be there. Assume they want to work with you, and let that light your energy on fire for your offer and sell it like fucking hotcakes until somebody buys. In my offers, I teach my clients how to create content that is activating but never convincing. And here's one way I do that, and you're getting a little sneak peek here into Unfiltered and Filthy Rich. So one of the content types that I teach is based on you, who you are, and what you believe, because leaders think something. They stand for something and they share their opinions. But where you might get tripped up in your content is, again, convincing someone that what you're saying is the right thing, when actually you are only ever speaking to two people. The person who already believes what you believe, or the person who wants to believe what you believe. So let's look at some examples to explain this. Let's talk about fan clubs. So you guys know that I am a diehard One Tree Hill fan. Like, I've been to conventions, hung out with the actors, kind of shit. I have so much One Tree Hill stuff, you guys. So I follow a lot of fan pages and stuff. I listen to the Rewatch podcast. I am invested in this group of people, and I've joined live streams. And like I've said, I've gone to conventions and spent thousands of dollars on these conventions. And I invested in them because I believe in what they're selling. I desire to see and talk to the actors, and the convention companies are speaking to the people who already believe OTH is the best. And this is an example of marketing and selling to an audience that doesn't need convincing. The seller and the consumer share beliefs about the offer. Hey guys, I hope you're loving today's episode. I am just taking a brief pause in today's episode to share with you a client testimonial. These testimonials are either from group coaching clients or clients who are in my one-to-one coaching program. And I can't wait for you to hear how I have changed their lives and their businesses for the better.
The transformation is incredible, not to mention the daily fucking program that I have now for myself, my routine, calling in. I've called in so much money, like without like the sales for my program, I called in somewhere like $2,000, just like checks in the mail. So being in Jill's energy, being in this container, like, has truly changed my life, and I fucking highly recommend it. And I've worked with many, many, many coaches. Jill's the real deal.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Now let's get back to the episode. Now on TikTok, I started getting videos about this kind of workout split, like 2 days of resistance training, 1 day of Pilates, and then 8K steps a day. The content I was seeing was saying how this is what's going to happen to your body, how it transforms your life, blah, blah, blah. And I found myself actually seeking out this content because I wanted to believe the person who was selling her membership. I wanted to believe in this workout split and how it can help me specifically. And this instructor was appealing to an audience who wanted to start doing Pilates and desired this kind of workout split. She didn't need to convince anyone. She was just talking to the people who wanted to change their beliefs about Pilates, because now a lot of people do believe that Pilates can be even more effective than resistance training, for example. But again, no convincing required. She was just sharing information. And I wanted to change my beliefs about Pilates, and I did through seeking out this content because I wanted to change that belief. So, when you sell your services, you are speaking to two people. The people who already believe what you believe, and the people who want to believe what you believe. Everyone else doesn't fucking matter. I speak to the people who know imposter syndrome and mindset blocks are fucking them up in business, and blocking abundance from coming to them. And I speak to the people who are realizing that and are actually wanting to change this. In the past, I've tried to convince people that they need this work. And while I do believe that I could coach anyone and that people do need this work, not everybody wants it. And when it comes to the online industry, wanting is almost more important than needing because there has to be a level of action and responsibility taken by the client. Let me say that again. And when it comes to the online industry, wanting is almost more important than needing because there has to be a level of action and responsibility taken by the client, right? And even if they need it, you can't need it enough for them to take action and get results. So you speak to the person who wants it, not needs it. And that is actually my last point. There has to be a level of autonomy and maturity that you expect your client to have. You know how they say, talk to your client as if they're 10 years old. I understand the sentiment for simplifying your messaging, sure, but you're talking to adults here. They don't need to be talked down to, and you can speak to them with the belief that all adults are autonomous and that they can decide what's best for them. The choice to work with you is an empowered decision by your client. You can and you should empower the fuck out of them to make a decision to work with you or purchase your offer. And if you feel like you have to convince your audience to work with you, you won't sell like this. You will sell by being like, you should know better, you should want this, you need it, you don't know what you're talking about, and I do. And I'm not gonna lie, I've totally been here before and sold from that icky place before, but it will not attract the right client. It will attract needy clients, clients who need handholding, clients who are not empowered in their decisions. And if you feel like you have to convince them during the selling process, you will also have to convince them even while they are inside your program. I had a client last year who was really resistant to the mindset work, and I felt like such a failure. But after a lot of coaching and introspection and journaling on it, I realized that the mistake I had was taking her on in the first place. I felt like I had convinced her to work with me because I could help her get results, but she wasn't bought into the process of the inner work and the mindset work. And it felt like every single session was a battle because she was so resistant, she was overly logical to her own detriment, and had no intentions of changing her beliefs. But that's why people work with you, because they share your beliefs and they want to take that deeper, or they want to change their beliefs. I work with my mentor for both of these reasons, actually. We share beliefs and the same values that I want her to take me deeper on. And I also want to be in her energy and feed off of it when it comes to how she sees sales, business, life, and money, etc. And it feels so good to be supported in this way. You don't need to convince anyone. And you get to have a business with dream clients that actually want the transformation you're offering, not just the result that you're selling. So how do you call in the clients that make you so grateful to do the work that you do? I'm going to teach you how to do exactly that with just your content, with complete confidence in yourself, in my new content course, Unfiltered and Filthy Rich. The course drops on Monday for just 1 week at $888, and if you join the waitlist, you'll get the course at the discounted price, and you'll get access to the amazing bonuses like an Instagram audit and a free week of Voxer with me. So join the waitlist at the link in my show notes so you can be the first one when the course drops on October 16th. I love you guys, and I'll see you next week. Thanks so much for listening to the From Imposter to Empowered podcast. Head to the show notes to learn how you can work with me, where you can buy my best-selling book, You're Not Special, and how to get on my email list for free. Screenshot this episode and add it to your Instagram stories, tagging me at YourCoachJill. See you next time.